Walk into a Costa Coffee or a Starbucks today, and you might notice something unusual. A premium iced drink costing upwards of £5, spilling a thick layer of neon purple right into the espresso. You could write this off as a simple seasonal experiment, but these legacy chains are rapidly losing their historical grip on our daily caffeine habits. Startup competitors like Blank Street Coffee are pulling younger, trend-led consumers, particularly women under 30, away from the old establishments. Blank Street is currently in talks to raise over $100 million to keep expanding, explicitly capitalizing on this exact demographic. The corporate giants ran the numbers and realized that selling standard vanilla lattes to Gen Z was no longer a viable growth model. To win back market share, they had to manufacture a viral sensation. They knew exactly what it looked like. The playbook had been written by the matcha boom. Matcha succeeded because of its mechanics. The unusual, vibrant green color acted as a highly effective visual engine. It dominated TikTok algorithms organically, and that digital exposure reliably translated into real-world foot traffic. This chart shows the fatal flaw in relying on matcha long-term. We see the sharp, continuing upward trajectory of global demand, intersecting with a recent bad harvest, causing the supply curve to drop off aggressively. That supply crunch is causing wholesale prices to soar. Even though mega chains charge around 20% more for matcha drinks than their standard coffees, their profit margins are being squeezed tighter and tighter by the cost of the raw ingredient. The search for a successor quickly became a massive race to find an ingredient that could replicate that visual engine, while shielding the bottom line from severe harvest failures and rapidly rising wholesale costs. Enter ube, a traditional purple yam native to the Philippines that has been a staple in Southeast Asian cuisine for centuries. For corporate boardrooms, ube's flavor profile is entirely secondary. Its real value is its spectacular, highly unusual purple hue. It practically guarantees social media engagement from anyone holding the cup. But behind the aesthetics is a highly specific financial reality. On the wholesale market, ube powder is significantly cheaper for these corporations to buy in bulk than matcha. This bar chart compares the unit economics of the two drinks. While the wholesale cost of ube is visibly lower, the retail prices for ube match the premium tag of matcha. A Starbucks ube vanilla velvet latte starts around £5.45, and a Costa sweet ube frappe sits at £4.35. That massive gap between the cheap raw powder and the premium retail price transforms ube into a highly efficient margin generator. It pads corporate profits heavily, all while the consumer feels they are purchasing a scarce, premium aesthetic good. The sudden explosion of purple drinks across thousands of locations is a highly engineered, data-driven margin play. It also required a complete overhaul of how fast these companies operate. The mega chains learned a harsh financial lesson when they missed the early wave of the matcha trend, letting smaller brands establish dominance. This timeline shows the shift in strategy. Costa took months to roll out their nationwide matcha range after rivals had already jumped in. But with the Sweet Ube line, they compressed that window into a nearly instantaneous nationwide launch. In a matter of weeks, they commodified an ingredient that had previously thrived locally at independent Filipino cafés and restaurants like Casa and Kin in London. The modern corporate coffee playbook now operates on strict, unforgiving timelines. Survival depends entirely on the speed at which a brand can hijack a viral aesthetic and deploy it at scale. But none of this works if people don't buy it. Why are everyday consumers willing to pay upwards of £5.45 for a brightly colored drink during a severe cost of living squeeze? The macro environment for British consumers is currently at a standstill. New energy shocks from the Middle East conflict have frozen hopes of an economic recovery, leading to a significant drop in consumer confidence. Optimism has fallen to its lowest level since the uncertainty of the U.S. tariffs last year. With growth stalling and inflation lingering, major life milestones, like buying a house or a car, feel increasingly impossible for the younger generation. This is the lipstick effect in action. When people can't afford the big luxuries, they willingly overpay for small, affordable indulgences, like a vibrant purple latte. It's a way to secure a tiny psychological boost in a stagnant economy. Independent operators are fully aware of this psychology. many view ube strictly as a limited-time gimmick. One Black Sheep coffee franchise successfully ran it as a Halloween special, but opted to keep it off the permanent menu. And corporations are already moving on. They are actively testing the next iterations of viral colors. Branches are rolling out bright yellow banana matcha and experimenting with the bright green Southeast Asian herb, pandan. The data is absolute. Keeping the menu visually fresh and rotating through viral ingredients is the only reliable metric for driving young people back through the doors. The major coffee chains are now permanently locked into a cycle of manufacturing colorful, high-margin accessories for social media, a business model that prioritizes the viral aesthetic over the product inside the cup.